and welcome to my YouTube channel, where every episode I take a physics topic and hopefully explain it in a really simple and understandable way. Now, some episodes are just going to be fun physics facts, but most I'm going to try and tie in to the current school curriculum. So when that's the case, I'm going to put the key stage in the episode title. Today's episode, I'm going to give a brief overview of days, nights, and seasons. If you've ever wanted to know what causes our seasons, then this is the episode for you. To start, the Earth takes 365¼ days to travel round the Sun. So one full orbit of the Sun. So the amount of time it takes for the Earth to return to its starting point after moving a full circle round the Sun, this is 365¼ days. I know what you're thinking. What happens to that quarter? We have 365 days in a year. So what do we do with that quarter? Well, we don't technically have 365 days every year. Once every 4 years, we have a leap year, which is when we have an extra day in February and therefore 366 days that year. So now you know, leap years are an accumulation of the extra quarter days built up over the past 4 years. Awesome! Each year, the Earth has 4 seasons. Now come on, we know this. Autumn, winter, spring, and summer. These 4 seasons are all caused by the tilt of the Earth's axis. So the Earth spins round an axis, and this axis is an imaginary pole going straight through the centre of the Earth from top to bottom. Earth spins round this pole, making one complete turn each day. Scientists believe that Earth's axis used to be straight, north to south, and that the Earth would rotate around this axis. But it's thought that ages and ages ago, something big hit the Earth and knocked it off-centre. We call this big thing that hit the Earth Theia, and it's thought that the rubble and dust released into space from the collision eventually became our moon. How exciting! And now the axis is tilted and the Earth rotates around this tilted axis. So our North and South Pole aren't exactly at the top and bottom of the Earth as we see it. They're slightly off-centre. Anyways, it's this tilted rotation that gives us seasons. I'm going to use the UK as my example because that's where I'm from. So because the UK is in the Northern Hemisphere, we have winter when the Northern Hemisphere is tilted away from the Sun. This makes sense, right? So the Sun's rays have to cover a larger area of land and therefore it gets colder in the winter. So the North also spends less time in the sunlight, so the days get shorter. So whilst the Northern Hemisphere is facing away from the Sun and having its winter, this must mean that the Southern Hemisphere is facing towards the Sun and having their summer at the same time. So whilst the Northern Hemisphere is facing towards the Sun, we have our summer. So we have longer days because we spend more time in the sunlight. And the Sun's rays are covering a smaller area of land, so the energy is focused in a smaller area and therefore we get warmer. Woohoo! If the Northern Hemisphere is facing towards the Sun, then the South must be facing away, and therefore when we have our summer, they have their winter. So to summarise, summer in the UK occurs when the Sun is shining directly on the Northern Hemisphere, and winter in the UK occurs when the Sun is shining indirectly on the Northern Hemisphere. Spring and autumn both occur when the Sun shines equally on the Northern and Southern Hemispheres. The same principle occurs that when it's spring in the Northern Hemisphere, it's autumn in the Southern Hemisphere, and vice versa. Lastly, I'll briefly cover days and nights. These are caused by the rotation of the Earth around its axis. So whereas a year is the Earth completing an orbit around the Sun, one full day is the Earth completing one rotation around its axis. And there's no surprise here that the Earth completes its full rotation in 24 hours. So, because the Sun doesn't really move, when the Earth rotates, a place on it like the UK will sometimes be in front of the Sun and sometimes not. So when the UK is facing the Sun, this is the day, obviously. And then as the Earth continues to rotate, it gets darker and darker until it's completely facing away from the Sun into dark space. And this is nighttime. There we go! I've covered a lot of stuff today that might seem obvious, but I hope you've learned something new. Even like the reason behind leap years. Thank you for listening! I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to learn about other cool physics facts, then please like and subscribe and watch all of my other videos. And if you want to learn about a specific topic, please leave a comment below and I'll try to do a video for you.